Ready?
Yep.
Hello everyone, my name is Madison Carpenter and today I am with my piano teacher, Melyssa Cahill, and we are going to be expanding on the song that I wrote in my last video.
It does not have a name yet, does it?
It doesn't, but I think I'm going to just title it Stay With Me because that's the end of the chorus and it makes sense, I guess. So, yes. I decided that the song was in G, so we're going to see all the chords in G and what I should use and can use and how I can use them differently and effectively.
Yeah, because we're in G major, so we have quite a few options to go to different key signatures, and she can change those at any time and add different highlights in the piece if she wants to, in the bridge or in a chorus or the beginning or end.
Yes. In a lot of my songs, I use the 1 chord, which is the root chord, which would be G, the 4 chord, which would be C, and the 5th chord, which would be G. Just kidding, D.
Yep, and we use those. That's all just based off of G major. And each key that we're talking about that Maddie can change to has those chords as well as an option. And what other options do we have with just those chords?
The 6th.
Can't we invert them?
The minor chord. Yes.
So we can invert the chords, which means
Different positions.
different positions. So we have G major. Maddie, what are our 3 notes for G major? The chord. The root position.
G, B, and D.
G, B, and D in that order. G's on the bottom, B's
Yes.
in the middle, D on top.
Mm-hmm.
So what would the first inversion look like?
B, D, G.
B, D, G. So what happened to that G?
The G decided to go on the top.
Will you play the root position G chord and then the first inversion?
Yes. Root position. First inversion.
So it's the same note, same 3 notes that Maddie just played. They're just in a different order. So it gives it even more. It gives her more options without even changing the key signature.
Yes.
Will you play the second inversion? So now, from that first inversion of G major, G was on top, D in the middle, B on the bottom. Now she flipped B to the top. So B's on top, G's in the middle, D's on the bottom. And then one more time with flipping D to the top, brings us back.
Yep, we're back in root position.
Root position, yep. So a lot of options just from 1 chord, and you can do that with the 4 chord also,
Yes.
and the 5/7 chord. Okay, so G major, where are we gonna go from here?
No.
I want to hear some of this.
Time just stops and I hear you sneaking through my window. Restart the clocks. We don't have to get up tomorrow. Take my hand, why don't we dance? We got nothing to lose. The night sky is a perfect stage for us tonight. We can dive into infinity. I don't know what to play there. Into infinity. Why don't we try to just live in it? Live with me. Oh, that was bad, but. And then it goes into a weird section that's like.
Ooh, I like that. What did you just do there?
Holding hands, we start the dance. Something like that.
So you just went into a minor key.
Yes.
So what minor key did you go into?
I went to E minor.
And where did you get that E minor?
It is the 6th chord in G.
Which means it's the relative minor to G major.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to write bigger so they can see. E minor! Yay. So E minor is the relative minor, to G major. What does it mean by relative minor?
They have the same key signature.
Yes. What is the key signature in G major?
1 sharp.
1 sharp. So what sharp are we playing?
F sharp.
F sharp. Yes. So E minor has 1 sharp in the key signature. Will you play E minor scale but make it just the natural minor?
Of course.
That's it. So she played exactly what the notes would be in G major, but started instead on E. And that's what our natural minor option is. What is another minor option?
The
Same E minor, but another scale. What about the harmonic?
Oh, right.
So we have a
Yes, the
harmonic
harmonic.
minor.
The harmonic.
What's the difference there?
The 7th is raised.
Yep. So play that one for them. We have the F
Exactly.
sharp in the key signature, and then we have a D
Sharp.
sharp in as an accidental. So she could be playing this song and be singing in E minor and have a D sharp in there, and it would totally make sense.
Yeah.
What's the melodic minor look like?
It's got a raised 6th and 7th.
Which direction?
Up.
Yeah, so when you're playing this scale, when you're going up to the right, the 6th and the 7th tone are raised a half step. What happens on the way down?
It goes back to the natural minor, so the 7th is not raised and the 6th is not raised.
That's right, they're lowered back. So let's play that one.
Okay.
So we have the F sharp already in there. That's right. So on the way up, she had a C sharp and a D sharp as the accidentals. And on the way down, C is natural and D is natural. So that can expand on her playing as well when she's in E minor. She doesn't have to use it if she doesn't want to, but it is there as an option.
Yes.
So if we're playing in E minor, what is our root position chord sound like? That's right. So we have an E, a G, and a B. Let's invert those so they can hear what options.
Root position. First inversion. Second inversion. And back to root position.
Yep. And you could do something fancy on the piano like. And all you're doing is playing the chord broken and inverting it up and down.
Yeah.
And that could sound beautiful with, maybe in a different octave
Yeah.
higher.
Right.
And with pedal or something.
Yeah.
But you could do that as a little, transition to something, or as just a little show-off area.
Yeah.
There's options. Lots of options.
Lots.
Okay, so we're in E minor. While we have this list going, G is our main key.
Yes.
What other options do we have that would make sense in G major? So we have its relative minor. What are some other major keys that we could add?
D major.
How did you come up with that?
D is the 5th in G.
Yep, D is the 5th tone of the scale in G major.
Yes.
Why do we care? That's the fifth.
It's the dominant.
The dominant. It's the
very
dominant.
important.
Yep. So the order, what are the names? And we should probably write this. We'll put that down below. We'll put it down there. So we have our main key is what's called the tonic,
Yes.
right? And I don't even know if they can read this. We'll put it over here. Tonic. What's next? Supertonic.
Yes.
Then
Mediant.
it's like in math when you have the median, but it's mediant with a T on the end. And then
Subdominant. Dominant. Dominant.
it's like cinnamon.
It is,
Synonyms.
exactly.
Then the dominant. And then this is the one that gets people, but it's the
Submediant.
submediant. Which is the 6th tone, which you can make a tonic triad out of it, or actually rather, so if we're in G major, you can use the 4th and the 6th and back to the tonic to make that the 2nd chord in G major, but it actually ends up being another major chord, which is C major.
Right.
So that's why the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th chords in a scale are pretty common.
Yes.
Okay, submediant, then what's the 7th? Play that G major scale, but stop on the 7th tone, because I want to make a point here. So
What scale?
G major.
G major.
Stop there. What does everybody want to hear?
Oh, it's the leading tone.
Yeah, what do you want to hear when you hear that?
You want to hear G. You want to hear the
G,
tonic.
big time. So if you played that F sharp and she just walked away, all of us would be like,
No.
diving for that G. That's a way to create suspense
For sure.
in your music.
Yeah. Just play the
you
leading
just hang
tone.
there for a minute. Okay, so really important, the tonic. I don't know if I use another color if they can see it, so I'm going to use black. Tonic, mediant, dominant. Dominant's the 5th. That's where we got D major. So she came up with another major key we can transition to. What's another major key for G major that you could use?
The 4th. C.
Yep. You can use C major. I put a plus just to make sure it's really clear that it's major. Because sometimes it's hard to tell if it's lowercase or uppercase.
That's especially with C.
Okay, so C major, which is the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th key in G major scale.
Yes.
And if this were me doing that, I don't write music like Maddie does. She has it all up here. If I were to do this, I would write it all out, but it's whatever works for everyone, right?
Right.
Of our preference. But it is kind of nice to challenge ourselves to go to these different keys. Why wouldn't we keep it in G major the whole time?
To
Maddie?
make it interesting.
Yeah. You can progress through the keys and then end up back in the key where you started.
Cool.
We should challenge them to look at some of their favorite songs and see what those songs do.
Yes.
Like you could comment on Maddie's page or her, if you subscribe please. Comment on this video and you can even have us go through it if you want, or Maddie go through it.
Yeah.
And see what the different keys of your favorite song, what if it changes or how it changes, or it's kind of fun to do that. All right, so in C major, what's the other one? Couldn't we do the dominant of D major?
Yes.
That might be an option, so there'd be A major. But what I was thinking is in G major, the triad, we could take
Yes.
the 3rd, which is the
yeah.
mediant, and do B major as well. And then we said A major as well, possibly.
Yes. Possibly.
And then the dominant of C major is already G major, which is our G, so that's where we are already. Those are just a few options. I mean, really, we could go on, but
Yeah.
we'll keep it a little bit succinct so we don't confuse everyone.
Yeah.
All right, so what about a relative minor to D major as a possible minor key?